Afterlife by Cherokee Billie. Lately, because of so many celebrities passing away, such as Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett, to name a few, I have been asked many questions about life and death. Death is a universal experience. No one can hope to escape it. It is only a matter of time till it comes to each one of us and those we love. Most deathbeds are peaceful when the time comes, and few go out struggling. What then is it that we fear in death that it should be for us a thing of grief and dread? Firstly, we fear the unknown. To quote Shakespeare, "For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil." Secondly, we dread the separation from those we love. These are the things that make death terrible. How differently should we set out to cross the threshold were our minds at rest on these 2 points. What I have written will help you not have such fear. My personal experiences. First off, I want you to know that what I write about comes from my personal experience. I was brought up with basic religious beliefs that there is a heaven and hell. Starting at a young age, I was seeing colors around people and apparitions, although I did not know what any of this meant. In my early 20s, I finally became an atheist because I felt, based on religious teachings, that I would never be perfect enough for God, so why bother to even try, although I continued living a life where I harmed no one. What helped me change my mind was attending a metaphysical school for 6 years. How I started going to this school was an elderly lady asked me if I would drive her because she was afraid of driving at night. I volunteered and had never been in a metaphysical church before, and was surprised at how there was no condemnation in the teachings. I continued taking this lady until she passed away, and then I kept going on my own and started attending their private classes. What I learned there could never be captured in a book. Not only did we study, we were taught how to practice such work as meditation, hypnosis, sensory touch and feel, astral projection, which is out-of-body experiences, crystal therapy, energy healing, and much more. You may ask why that would change my view. The more I practiced this alone, the more it became natural and real for me. I used many of these techniques as a naturopathic doctor. I ended each session with the client by putting them in a hypnotic state so that they could relax and accelerate their healing. They would always exclaim how good they felt afterwards. My biggest learning experience had to do with my father's dying. He was comatose, and I knew that he had a great fear of dying. What I did was put myself in a hypnotic state, and I projected myself to his hospital room, and there I took his spirit along with my spirit, and we traveled to the other side, the 5th dimension. I figured my mother would be the first one to greet him, as she had passed away several years before. Surprisingly, the person that greeted my father on the other side was his army sergeant, who had been killed in World War II. My father was so happy to see him again. I waited at the entrance, and my father went and visited so many people that he loved and loved him. I could hear him laughing and talking. When he was finished, he came to me, and we transported back into his hospital room, and he went back into his body. The next day he died. I knew that he died without fear. The following morning, as I awoke, my father was screaming into my right ear everything he wanted me to know he was saying. I woke up saying, "Dad, you're hurting my ear. Stop talking so loud." I then did my best to remember exactly what he had been saying. It amazed me. I had never had such a spiritual connection in my life. Over the next few days, he appeared to me, each time with a message. Throughout the years he has continued to communicate, and on rare occasions I have been able to see him. Believe me, it's absolutely fascinating. He's definitely my main spirit guide. It's quite apparent that once you pass over, you continue to exist, not in a physical body, but a spiritual body. All of the problems and thoughts you have on this planet drift away, and you are just having an initiation period where you get to just enjoy being on the other side and seeing all of those that you have loved who were on the other side. Later you are taught and taken and taught lessons about spirituality, so that you are assigned to be a teacher, guide, or reincarnate if you have not completed everything you were supposed to in your previous life. Even though I had studied religions and beliefs in the afterlife, it never became real to me until my communication with my father. I have absolute belief in life after death. I think this is what has opened me up as a psychic medium to be able to receive messages from people who are deceased. I moved into a house in 1998 that had been custom designed by a paraplegic. He had died in that house. It only took a few days after moving in before he started manifesting his presence by turning on lights. Those who have passed on are energy, and they often manifest themselves through electronics like turning on lights, computers, stereos, televisions. From there, a multitude of spirits started coming around. Sometimes, as I would be sleeping, there would be many walking around my bedroom, quietly, but the sound of the carpet moving would wake me up. I could actually see them at this point, and I would ask them to please be quiet, and they always cooperated. I continued to have many spirits visit me in this house until I sold it and moved on. Throughout my life, angels have manifested themselves to me. Being a gifted clairvoyant, which is the paranormal ability to obtain information about an object or an event without the use of the known senses, makes it quite easy for me to see, hear, and feel angels, spirit guides, and the deceased. One of my most incredible encounters with an angel had to do with my deceased father. I was sitting in my living room, and suddenly I saw my father walk quickly, manifesting only about 10 seconds, through a wall. That in itself was quite miraculous. Next I turned my head to the left, and there was a lady, all dressed in white with long blonde hair. We just stared at each other, and it was as though we didn't need words. I knew that she was observing me because my father wanted her to assist me, as he is my spirit guide, and it was beyond his capabilities to give me the help that she could. This lasted for about 1 minute. We were communicating, but without words. Then she was gone. Within a week, the most incredible miracles started happening for me. I know that she is one of my higher angels, and I often direct my prayers and thoughts to her. I feel her presence all around me all the time. One of my most recent astral projection experiences had to do with my best friend Carrie's father, who was dying of pancreatic cancer. Carrie confided to me that his father had a fear of death, and he knew that his time was running out. Because of my deep love and friendship with Carrie, I spent 3 days in a state of hypnosis and kept taking his father's spirit to the other side. The first time I did this, we were greeted by Paul Newman. I thought that was quite interesting and told Carrie about it the next day. He told me that his father had idolized Paul Newman in life. I had no knowledge of this prior to the experience. I took his father over again 2 more times, and on the 3rd day he died. We know that he died happy and without fear. There is nothing to fear about death. You're just moving on into your next experience. Remember, your loved ones who passed on are moving into a better life where there is no more suffering, and rejoice that they are set free. Think of our lives rising and falling as a boat on the crest of a wave, descending into matter through the gates of birth, now reascending to the invisible world through the gates of death. This is Cherokee Billie. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you.